So the JP poll results are in, and I guess we'll just get the obvious one out of the way. Lilim Harlot did indeed win, even though I already had the other event that won pulled up as well. But I think this one was really obvious. As soon as we basically found out that Draco was going to be the rarest servant of all time, because for whatever reason, they just did not put her on the GSSR. They were like, no, 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 no. This servant, you guys are going to have to work for this one when we drop her again, which is always something that I really didn't like with people like, say, Oberon or Arjuna Alter being gone for like 2 years, both individually. It just, I don't know, it's really, really frustrating if you're someone that really likes either one of them, or you just want to play with some of the better servants in the game. You just gotta wait for whenever Lisengel is like, yes, I guess now we will let you peasants summon on our banner. It's something I don't really like. But so as soon as we found that out, yeah, obviously they were going to bring back Lilim Harlot. I definitely understand why this one was getting a rerun vote, because of course it is. Like, Draco is like super sick, and the event itself, I think, is a really, really good read. So I'm not surprised that this one won. Unfortunately, it doesn't really have any, I guess, neat things attached to it. Like, you have missions, which is kind of cool. I know people on stream the other day were like, oh, is this like a mini lotto, or does it have, like a big point ladder or something? Like, not really. I mean, you got missions, which is kind of cool, and you do have the free-to-play Satanta over here, which I do think is really good, because he's definitely not going to be getting his evocation anytime soon. He's one of the more new free-to-play servants, so he's definitely going to be waiting a little bit before they add him to that shop. So and that's a really good chance for people that might have missed out on him to try and get him. But one of the things that I do think is very strange is that, well, Lady Avalon just had a rerun over on the JP side of things. And so she's probably going to come back for this event, as well as, what is it? Skahawk, Nightingale, Lancer Artoria Alter, Jack, Mordred, and one other person. I think I'm forgetting one person. Who also is on one of those other 2 banners that come out for the Lilim Harlot event. So I think that's kind of interesting. I went ahead and I did a multi and was able to bag her over on JP, thinking that it was probably not going to get another rerun for quite a while. Then lo and behold, I kind of forgot that we're getting these reruns. So that's a little unfortunate for me. But hey, at least I got her. We definitely take that. Better to get the unit than not get them, I suppose. But yeah, this one I thought was really obvious. I think if you want to go ahead and read it, I believe there are translations on YouTube. There is also, what is it called? I have my emulator pulled up over here. There is Translate Fate/Grand Order, right? I think it's run by, oh man, it's slipping my mind right now. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, it was Neo Benedict. He's the guy that does all the translations, so I'm pretty sure he's got it translated on his channel, but there's also the translation app if you want to read it yourself in the app, because if I'm remembering correctly, I think he said he personally went through and translated all of those in the app, so it's a bit more accurate if I'm remembering correctly. If I'm not, somebody can correct me in the comments down below, but it is a very, very good read. I highly, highly encourage people to go through and read this. I don't want to spoil too much of what happens, but it is absolutely sick. It is why Draco is one of my favorite characters. I mean, I already really liked Nero, but she is now absolutely up there as one of the better characters, in my opinion, for FGO. And it also made me like Lady Avalon a little bit more. I mean, not that I didn't like her after Summer 7, but that was a little bit strange. Like, she definitely has one of the reasons of all time for why she's a pretender and not, normally a caster. It's interesting to say the least. So I highly encourage that if you have not gone ahead and read this event, go ahead and do that. It is definitely a very, very good read. I know, FGO players and reading, but trust me, this one will be well worth your time. Now, the one that we're going to be getting, I think, actually, it's technically tomorrow, because even though it says May 17th right here, I think we're, actually like a day behind on JP. So for us, it's May 18th, at least for most of us over here on the West, if I'm remembering that correctly, if I'm getting my time zones not flipped backwards or anything. So we will be getting this, which is kind of interesting, because this event is kind of what I was expecting them to go vote for. Not this one in particular. I was thinking maybe they would do a lottery, but this is kind of as good as a lottery in a way, because you do get those treasure chests. And apparently they did say that they are changing what is going to be in here, because I was personally a little bummed because there's not a whole lot of stuff in here that I kind of need. I could use the seeds. I guess that's kind of nice. But apparently they did say we are going to be changing the little treasure chest down here. So there might actually be an incentive to go in and get some of those. Personally, I'm hoping they might throw in some QP in there, because I am broke over on the JP side of things. So that would be greatly appreciated if Lisengel would do that. So even though it's not exactly the event I would have hoped for, I kind of get it. It has a nice little gimmick down here. The free-to-play is also very strong in Da Vinci Ruler, kind of just being a general good support just for most teams, just offering good things that any party would really want, you know, from like the overcharge to, you know, the card buffs, you know, technically to miscellaneous buffs over on her NP over there, which hopefully maybe somebody brought this up on my stream. I was like, I don't know why they would really vote for this one as far as, you know, summoning banner wise, but someone was like, well, even though the servants on this banner aren't the craziest servants, they're not bad, but they're not the craziest. They're definitely just pretty decent servants, but they were theorizing that maybe they voted for this event to try and get some of these servants some buffs, which I think is a very interesting theory, because in my head I was thinking about it like, yeah, Summer Calm is really good. She's still definitely usable. Like, she's not an unviable servant, but you know, we do have Ruler Melusine and we do have Summer Ibuki, who are kind of just the top arts loopers right now. You know, Ibuki just being a berserker makes her really good into pretty much everything, and then Melusine just is exactly Summer Ibuki with a bigger battery with an 80%, and then they just threw Chaotic on there for some reason. So not only is she stepping on Ibuki's toes, but then she also has an extra power mod, so that's a little bit annoying. But Summer Kama, I mean, it's not like she's that much further behind her. She still has a 50% battery, she's an Avenger, so her attack is pretty high, she can force power mod on people with the charm, but people are like, no, like ZTL, I don't think we're getting in the mindset of the JP player base. Maybe they just want to get some of these servants a buff, and I think that would be really, really sick. Maybe, I mean, I was going to say I might do a prediction video on who might get some buffs, but I guess we'll find out really shortly who's going to be getting some of those buffs, won't we? Because it's coming out, what, in like a day or so. But I do think a lot of these servants definitely could use something. I mean, Summer Kama is definitely the one that's probably been aging the best out of all of them, because, again, like I said, she's still very, very strong. She's still very good. Although I will say on the JP side of things, when I do try to use Summer Kama instead of Summer Ibuki to get a little bit of diversity, I do notice that Summer Kama is just not quite the same. You know, it's a little bit unfortunate. I can definitely feel the power creep between the two units. Not doesn't mean that she's bad or anything, but it definitely, you can feel it, and it's a little unfortunate. But I mean, it's a mobile game when you're not going to have power creep. But a lot of these other units, I definitely think we could throw stuff their way to really help them out. I think Saber Okita Alter could definitely get something along the lines of maybe, I mean, a power mod is really boring, I understand, but it would make her really good. It would help her out a lot. Or some kind of like ramping stacking damage, kind of like Saber Muramasa, right? Like that guy, where he's able to get the arts buff and the NP damage buff, you know, every single turn. So he gets stronger and stronger and loops better and better as the fight goes on. Anastasia and Corday over here, I don't really know what I want to give them. I kind of like Corday the way she is. I think her kit is just pretty well designed. Same thing for Anastasia, but I guess Anastasia could probably do with getting a bit more damage. So maybe like an NP damage buff would probably be really good, you know, up the scaling and maybe chuck like 20-30% NP damage on there. I don't know, something like that. Corday's already pretty good with her being able to force the power mod on people, so I don't really think she needs damage because her power mod damage isn't, you know, the worst. You know, it's acceptable, I would say. So I don't know, just chuck something else her way. Maybe you wanted to do more crits or something. Let her bomb stars, something along those lines. But these two, I definitely think are the ones that are hurting for the buffs the most. I think Canis Rider and Say Berserker got done really dirty when this event came out because, you know, when these dropped year 6, these guys are perfectly fine. I mean, it's like she doesn't really have any ramping or power mods, but she's still one of the better quick loopers in the game. And then these two just make a solid 1-2 punch, especially if you want to use them on the same team, right? Because their kits really synergize with each other to kind of help each other out. And then, you know, Avenger Kamos probably, arguably, I'm not going to stoke the flames of this argument, but probably was the best arts looper for that meta when she released. You know, maybe you could say it's Space Ishtar. I think Space Ishtar is probably a more valuable unit in being able to swap her NPs, but I do like Avenger Kama a little bit more. But these two just got done really dirty. It just feels like there's pieces missing of their kit. Like, they're just missing stuff. Like, they were like, oh, we're just not gonna chuck them any of this stuff. Like, going down the normal checklist that I always bring up, where it's like, okay, we got like a power mod, we have like some kind of maybe a crit niche or some ramping damage, and you know, we got batteries, but with survivability, and there's some things they're just missing that you would think they would have to make their kits more cohesive. They're just missing them, man. Like, these two almost feel like they should have released like last year or something. It's really bizarre. I don't know if I'm the only one that kind of feels that way, but I definitely feel like they both got the short end of the stick. So if they could get some buffs, I would really like that. And, you know, I know there are some Canis tomboy enjoyers watching this video right now, so I know they would love it, and I huge Sei fan. You know, I've come around to the Zoomer mentality that she's got going on after reading her event. So I would definitely like to get that, especially because I have her. So I would like to get some extra Saint cords, please, for that buff. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think they're going to be doing for this event. Maybe they do chuck some buffs on some of these people. And if they do chuck them some buffs, what would you like to see? I don't really know if the like male banner or the what's his name? His name's right here, and I'm forgetting out his name. But Doman, I don't know if they would give them buffs. And frankly, I don't think Doman needs a buff. I think he's just fine the way he is. But maybe Konami, not Konami, maybe Lisangle wants to see the world burn, so they just give that guy a big fat buff. But with all that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.